The conference finals are underway. We have 4 teams left in the Stanley Cup Playoffs. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today, we're going to be looking at the final 4 teams in the Stanley Cup Playoffs, and I'm going to be identifying 3 reasons as to why each team has a chance to win the Stanley Cup this season. So none of these are in order, so if I say this is the number 1 reason why this team is going to win, that doesn't mean it's the most important, it's just number 1 out of 3. But anyways, before we begin, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for some more hockey videos or just sports content in general. So first up, we're going to go in the East. We have the Carolina Hurricanes, and the number 1 reason I have is the health/performance of Frederik Andersen. Now in these playoffs, he has a .919 save percentage, a 1.74 goals against average. Those are some absolutely insane stats. And you see it in games too. He just seems so calm, and this Carolina defense is doing really good to support him when it comes to making sure there's nobody screening in front and making sure that there's no guys just standing in the blue paint. The Carolina Hurricanes are doing an excellent job with Frederik Andersen, making sure that, he can see all the pucks and make all the saves that he needs to. Now, if we look at the games played for Frederik Andersen, so this season in the regular season, he's only played 22 games. The year prior, he's only played 16 games, and the year before that is 34 games. So those are all like backup kind of numbers when it comes to games played. So it's really important that Frederik Andersen stays healthy, because when he is healthy, he has shown that he's a very, very, very good goaltender. Number 2, I have just be boring. And no offense to Carolina Hurricanes fans, but you guys play a low event hockey, and so you guys should actually keep it that way, because that is what's getting you to this point so far. In these playoffs, your goals against average per game for a team is 2.09, and the next closest is Florida with 2.39. And when it comes to shots per game this season, you guys are averaging 23.6 shots against per game, which is absolutely excellent. And again, when it comes to protecting your goaltenders, if you limit the amount of shots, they won't be as fatigued, and they won't, get injured as frequently. Now, when it comes to the offense, there's only 3 players on this team with double-digit points. However, it is their best players between Aho, Jarvis, and Svechnikov. So, again, you could say it's a good thing that it's their best players, but it's a bad thing because, again, this team doesn't generate a ton of offense. And number 3, I have experience. This team has been so deep into the playoffs for the last 6 years. If you look at their last 6 years, including this year, it's 3 trips to the conference finals, 2 to the second round and 1 first round exit, and 0 cup final appearances. This team needs to get over the hump eventually, and this might be their year. They have brought in guys like Taylor Hall, Logan Stankoven from the Rantanen trade, who are really good players. So again, bringing in some more experience, being here before, going up against the Florida Panthers, who they went up against before as well. So yeah, experience for this Carolina Hurricanes team. They should be able to get it done, but who knows? We'll see. And speaking of the Florida Panthers, they're up next. And number 1, I have dominant third line. Brad Marchand in 13 games has 12 points and is a plus 11. Anton Lundell has 13 games played, 10 points and is a plus 10. And Luosterainen, 13 games played, 13 points, plus 12. He leads the team in point scoring. When you're a team that has Barkov, Tkachuk, Verhaeghe, Bennett, you expect those guys to be leading the way offensively, but it's this third line that really came into their own in the Toronto series when Paul Maurice put them against the Matthews line. They just started eating them alive, and yeah, you can see from the points totals, like, these guys are absolutely insane. And again, the first line, or second line, I guess you could say as well, the top 6 have really yet to get going offensively. Number 2 for the Florida Panthers, I have production from the blue line. So I went and did the math, and I think I have this right, but it's 30 points from defensemen combined, which is a very, very good thing in the playoffs, because again, in my opinion, if you have a good third line, production from your blue line, and good goaltending, you are going to go very far in the playoffs. And from their blue line, Dmitry Kulikov is the only player who is a minus player, and it's only a -1. So yes, this defensive core is absolutely insane. And they added Seth Jones, who is averaging 25.5 minutes a night, which alleviates the pressure of Aaron Ekblad and Gus Forsling. That pair can be on the ice less, and you have somebody like Seth Jones, who is playing absolutely fantastic hockey right now. At number 3, I have defending champs. Most of these guys who are on this team this year won the cup last year with the Florida Panthers. They have the experience. They've been there. They've done that. And then you add in a guy like Brad Marchand, who has won the cup in 2011. He's been to the cup final in 2019, I believe it was. And again, their main guys from that cup run has yet to really get going offensively. So Florida is looking very, very dangerous if they can get their guys going. So let me know in the comments below, who do you think is going to come out of the East? Is it Florida? Is it Carolina? In my opinion, well, I had Winnipeg and Florida, in the final. I am going to stick with Florida. I think that there's just too many variables there when it comes to the team still having to get going, yet they're still so dominant. So yeah, I think Florida is going to come out of that series. I am recording this actually the day of the Edmonton-Dallas game 1. So game 1 of the Florida series already happened, but that didn't really factor into my points I collected here today. Now heading over to the West, we have the Dallas Stars. Now number 1, I guess you could put this as the number 1 reason, but number 1, I have Rantanen is him. He currently leads the playoffs in scoring with 14 games played, 9 goals, 11 assists for 20 points, including the hat tricks, the Game 7 against Colorado, the first game against Winnipeg. We all saw it, and he just shows up in the clutch, and he won with the Colorado Avalanche, and now with this Dallas Stars team, he can really pass on his winning knowledge when it comes to winning a Stanley Cup to this Dallas team. Number 2, we have Otter is playing out of his mind. So this year in the playoffs, Jake Ottinger has 14 games played, a .917 save percentage, and a 2.47 goals against average. Those are like some really good numbers. However, his numbers will actually be better because this Dallas team so far in these playoffs haven't been like spectacular defensively. And if you look at the numbers last year from his Western Conference Finals run, he had pretty similar numbers, and he's 26 years old. He's entering his prime. He's playing excellent playoff hockey. And from what I remember is he's not very injury prone as well. So you have to take advantage of this if you're Dallas. You have a very good goaltender who can definitely win you a Stanley Cup. So for this last point, number 3, I have defense should be getting better, ? Heiskanen has just came back from his injury, and he's definitely not 100% healthy. And you look at this Dallas team, like I mentioned earlier, is that defensively, they've been below average. I wouldn't say that they've necessarily been bad, but they definitely can be better. And if you look at their defensive core without Heiskanen, Thomas Harley this season has been unbelievable. Not only in the regular season, but at the Four Nations when he got called up. And now in the playoffs without Heiskanen, he, I believe, has like 12 points or something. In these playoffs, he's absolutely unreal for the Dallas Stars. And now you add Heiskanen to that core, they should be getting better. I did put a side note here that it might not look like it though, because you're going up against the Oilers and, you know, they're the Oilers. Speaking of which, we're going to the Edmonton Oilers now. And the number 1 reason, or the first reason I have here, is Batman and Batman. Yep, you heard me right. Not Batman and Robin. These are 2 Batman. These are 2 killers, 2 main guys, number 1 options, whatever you want to call them. McDavid in these playoffs, 12 games, 3 goals, 16 assists, 19 points. Leon Draisaitl, 12 games, 6 goals, 13 assists, 19 points. I mean, what needs to be said here? Leon Draisaitl in the regular season without McDavid was an absolute beast. He absolutely came through for these Edmonton Oilers. He wins the Rocket Richard. He's going to get Hart votes. Like, he is honestly probably the most disrespected number 2 option of all time, because if you look at the likes of Crosby and Malkin, it's pretty similar to that when you have McDavid and Draisaitl as your 1-2 punch, just 2 guys who can take over a game, take over a series, take over a playoff run. And if you've been watching the Oilers this season, yes, they've been picking up a lot of points, but I feel like they're really like quiet points. They're not like vintage McDavid or vintage Draisaitl. I think that they're just doing their thing and just trying to win because they've been here before. Last year in the finals, I think they know they were like 1 goal away. They know what it takes to win. And I think they know now just to not necessarily take it easy, but to make sure that the rest of the team is going, because you're going to need them. Speaking of which, we have the number 2 reason. The depth is finally coming through. If you look at their point totals, Evander Kane, 7 points. Corey Perry, 7 points. Connor Brown, 7 points. Vasily Podkolzin, 6 points. Adam Henrique, 3 goals. And Knoblauch, if you've seen him in these playoffs, he is not afraid of rolling lines 1 through 4 And if you look at the Edmonton Oilers of previous years, they would roll lines 1 through 4, but they would throw McDavid out there. They would throw Draisaitl out there. But now with this team, and Knoblauch has their trust that he can just throw out the third line, the fourth line, whatever the case may be. And the same thing applies to D pairs 1 through 3. He is not afraid to rotate through those D pairs. And side note, Ekholm could be coming back. It's not 100% confirmed. If he does come back in this series against Dallas, he's definitely not going to be 100%. But again, it's similar to Heiskanen. You add that to this D-core that has been playing, I guess you could say, average. Because against the LA Kings, like, you have all these goals going in, and then against Vegas, they're like really good. But then if you look at the average, they're just like, eh. But if you look at this team, I think that with Mattias Ekholm coming back into the lineup potentially is going to really, really help out their case to win the Stanley Cup. Last but not least, we have goaltending. We always have to talk about goaltending when it comes to the Edmonton Oilers because it's just never consistent. However, if you do look at the stats, yes, they are pretty bad stats. I mean, both goaltenders below 900 save percentage, goals against averages around 3. It's not looking great if you look at just those numbers. But if you look at Calvin Pickard and how he was playing before he got hurt, he was helping them in the LA series get through that. And then if you look at Stuart Skinner in the Vegas series, he was also really good. It looks like he just gets better as the series goes on. If you start him in a series like games 1 through 3, you might get a very bad goaltender. But then after, when it's games 4 through 7, you have a goaltender that can win you a Stanley Cup. So I have here, if this team gets at least average goaltending, they will always have a chance to win any game against any opponent because you have Batman, and you have the depth on offense and defense now. And it just looks like the Edmonton Oilers team is looking to go back to the Stanley Cup Finals. But it's going to be tough against the Dallas Stars, who are also looking to finally get back to the finals. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think Edmonton's going to come out of the West? Do you think it's going to be Dallas? And with the evidence I provided for you and your own research you can do at home, who do you think is going to win the Stanley Cup? Now, my final was the Winnipeg Jets against the Florida Panthers, and I had the Winnipeg Jets winning, which in hindsight looks terrible. Yes, I know. My Western Conference Final was Winnipeg versus Vegas, so I have to make a new pick here. Dallas against Edmonton. I think I'm going to choose the Dallas Stars in 7 games because I think that the goaltending is really going to be the difference here because defensively, I'd give the edge to Edmonton right now. Offensively, I'd probably give the edge to the Dallas Stars and their depth. I think the Edmonton Oilers have really good depth, but Dallas is just the deepest team offensively in these playoffs. And then, yeah, when it comes down to the goaltending, I mean, other than like maybe Sergei Bobrovsky, who would you rather have in these playoffs other than Jake Ottinger? Anyways, that is it for this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. Peace.